Hey folks, KoloffRx here, and I just wanted to go over something that I've heard other streamers talk about, but not quite in the type of detail that I'd consider when I first started the game. And that's, hey, great, you've downloaded, you installed Raid Shadow Legends, you're a new player, fan-freaking-tastic. Well, what do you go from here? Well, I would like to start with kind of a hot take, but stick with me, listen for the whole context, because there's a lot more to it than just this hot take. You might want to consider starting your account over. That's not to say you should, that's not to say that it's the right move. Yes, I know, missions, sorry, but for some full context as to that hot take, um, you've just started playing, you're probably a few levels in before you found some videos. You might be doing things that aren't exactly correct. And pardon me for a moment. That's okay. I know I made mistakes when I first started, everyone does. But if you're a couple hours into the game, it might behoove you, if you haven't spent any money, you've only sunk a few hours in, to restart so that you can get off on the right foot and maximize everything if that's important to you for your playstyle. So, in no particular order, just a couple of things that I think are important to keep in mind when starting a new account. Well, no, actually a particular order. The first is keep track of your energy bar. This refills at the rate of 1 energy per 3 minutes, and it's important to never be above the maximum. If you're if you're at the maximum or above the maximum energy, you will not generate any more. If you're the min-max style player, then that's important because you want to always be generating energy. If you're always generating, then you're ensuring you can continue progressing content slightly faster. Sure, 100 energy a day might not make a huge amount of difference over the course of a day or two, but if you span out over a week, 2 weeks, a month, it starts to add up very, very quickly. Then I also want to really point out that this gem count, your premium currency, can be extremely valuable. So the second point I really want to hammer home is if you decide that you like this game and you want to play it for 3 months, you feel like, yeah, this is a game I'm going to play for 3 months, you might not be able to be the person to make that call when you first start playing. That's fine. I am, and I knew that I would because the game hooked me. It spurred my interest enough. The first thing I invested in was this gem mine, simply because to break even on the gem count, you have to spend 3 months playing and making sure that it does not reach capacity. But once you do that, you're essentially getting free gems every day, 15 of them. You pair that with gems you might be getting from clan boss rewards, you pair that with gems you might be getting from progress mission rewards, and those kinds of things, it adds up, again, quickly. So if you are the kind of person that, yeah, I want to play this game for 3 months, you might want to allocate a lot of your starting gems into that mine. Sparring Pit, I would ignore it if you're a new player for now. Maybe unlock one slot, whatever, but I really wouldn't prioritize it. I haven't because I don't use it. But the market is a fantastic use of your gems to upgrade and buy new things. Gear drops sometimes, but most importantly are those mystery shards that I just collected. You will want to get as many of those as you can. You will see I have 1,400 of those bad boys. You will always be summoning from greens. They are just your main source of food. And so maximizing your ability to farm them early is a wonderful thing to do. I'm not saying everyone should just abandon their accounts. No. But just be aware if min-maxing is important to you, then making sure you use that initial burst of like 1,000 or so energy that you get on your first few levels of the game. You might be able to use it a little more intelligently if you're only an hour in and decided that you messed things up. If you allocate your gems incorrectly, you might want to reallocate towards the mine, reallocate towards the market, those kinds of things. Energy refills are the primary use of gems. 40 gems apiece. You can do it when you're out of energy, it'll prompt you. That's not to say you can't also buy other things with the gems, but that's your primary method of using them. The last thing I would consider remaking your account for is if you do not have one of these two heroes as your starters, I'm not saying you cannot complete the game. I am saying that these two are just, Aethel and Kayle are just the rares that have the most longevity in the game. You can clear a Brutal with Gaelic just fine. Shrek is wonderful at doing that, sure, I'm sure you can do it. But it's just a lot easier and happens a lot faster. He's in my vault, I guess, with Aethel or with Kayle. It's not to say that Gaelic or Elaine are bad champions, it's just that those two do it better. When you get into other areas of the game, Gaelic just does not have... He can't catch up, so he can't cut the mustard, if you will. God, I hate myself. He just can't carry you as far in Clan Boss as Aethel's 3-hit A1 can. He can't lay down as much consistently reliable poison that Kayle can for dungeon bosses and for clan boss. And so, same with Elaine. They just don't bring the same utility. And so I would say if you're only an hour or two into the game, it very well may behoove you to get yourself off on the best foot possible. And maybe if you really, really like the game, use that main account as kind of an alternate account. Or just don't. Or ignore everything I've said, keep going, take little bits of the advice, up to you. Either way, those are some things I wish I knew just as I was starting into the game, vis-a-vis the energy, the market. The gem mine I did figure out, which I'd like to go ahead and give a big thanks to Chosen for. That was an outstanding bit of advice when I first started playing, so thank you so much, sir. That being said, those are really the most important things to me. But if you folks feel like there's anything also important for newer players that they could learn on their first forays into the game, feel free to share it in the comments. Keep the conversation going in a productive fashion. Thank you all very much, and hope you have a good day.